Hello everyone, this is MC Deck Discussions and I'm OhBSmall, and today we have another playthrough. This one is the first one for the tournament for Season 2 for the Limited Environment Draft Tournament, LEDT. And I'm going up, I chose Spider-Man to go up against Black Widow. As usual, I have the timestamps. I will be showing the setup, and I'm going to do it from the start because it's my first time against Black Widow, and some people might want to see that, especially with Dragon cards. And then I'll share the deck briefly because I will do a brief deck discussion later about the deck that I built. And then we'll go ahead and get started on the game. All right, let's go. Okay, so first, on the setup, each player searches the encounter deck for a minion and puts it into play and engage with them. So we can go over here to this little eyeball, click on that, and then click on minions, and that way we can restrict it to just minions. And then I'm looking for the 0/0. Where are you? I missed it. There it is. Okay, so we're going to get the aim scientist. Shuffle that back up. All right, flip this over. And we put it into play so the surge does not have an impact. Notice that aim scientist also has vulnerable and an acceleration icon. All right, we flipped it over. We start with 2 threat on the main scheme right away. If this stage is completed, the players lose the game. So if it gets 10, we lose. And Black Widow is notorious for being able to make that hit that 10 pretty easily. Part of the reason is because it's going to be plus X, and especially an expert, plus X to the main scheme, where X is the Black Widow's stage number. She starts off on 2, so she's going to get plus 2 each time. When she flips to stage 3, she's going to get plus 3 each time and could it has the potential to win at any moment. So stage 3 is extremely dangerous if one doesn't play that one carefully. All right, so when revealed, place 2 threat on the main scheme. So she gets 2 of that threat right away. Forced interrupt, she has this forced interrupt. When a character you control attacks Black Widow, remove 1 threat from the main scheme, and then there's a cost arrow. So in other words, this doesn't occur if you cannot remove 1 threat from the main scheme because of that cost arrow. So one of the goals will be to keep that main scheme clear whenever I attack Black Widow. So if I can accomplish that, it makes life much easier. When I first started, I played her a bunch of times before I realized that was the case, and it was only because of watching a solo Marvel Champion video that I realized that was the case. So I was just always triggering that no matter what. So that does make her easier than the way I was playing her in the beginning for many, many games. All right, back when I first started playing her when she first came out. So let me restate that because I interrupted myself so much. When a character you control attacks Black Widow, remove 1 threat from the main scheme, and then if that happens, discard the top card of the encounter deck and resolve each preparation ability on that card. All right, so that's it for her setup. Now let's go ahead and check out the deck. Oh, and before I show the deck, I just want to mention I did do 2 practice games against Black Widow just to make sure this deck seemed to be working well, and it did. And I want to do a 3rd one, but my time is limited, so I figured I better get to it. So this is going to be the real game now, the one that counts. All right, so this is called Webbing Widow one way or another. In other words, my goal is to web her up, even though she doesn't, have a webbed up card or anything. But it's to try to neutralize her. Going to do it one way or another, either with stuns or confuses, or hopefully both. All right, so here we go. We've got Spider-Man Injustice with 40 cards. And for our allies, we have Dazzler, who does have a confuse, Ghost Spider, Madam Web, Nick Fury, Professor X, Spider, Spider-Man Hobie Brown, Spider-Man Peter Parker, Spider-Man Paviter Prabhakar, and Spider-Man Otto Octavius. I'm sure I slaughtered that name. Did the best I could. And then we also have, I'm going to go to the sports next, actually. We have a Web of Life and Destiny and Helicarrier. I wanted to go here first because just to point out that this is one of your, Web Warrior builds. And then for the events, we have Across the Spider-Verse, 3 copies of For Justice, 2 copies of One Way or Another, 1 copy of Quick Quip, so another way to confuse the enemy, and we also have Professor X for that too. And of course, those of you who know Spider-Man Miles Morales, you also know that he has his own cards that can trigger his abilities that can stun or confuse as well. So I'll go over those abilities real quickly too. right after I finish this. So for the resources, we have 2 doubles and 2 copies of Power of Justice. And then for the upgrades, we added Heroic Intuition. So actually, let's go to the gameplay, and there I'll show Spider-Man's abilities. All right, so first of all, he has 4 recovery and the civilian trait, and has this response. After you change to this form, shuffle 1 Spider-Man card from your discard pile into your deck. In the 2 previous games, completely forgot about that every single time. So I'm going to put a marker on him. Maybe I'll remember, but I tried that last game and I still didn't remember. So we'll see if I remember this time. And then over on our hero side, we have he's a 2/2/2 champion web warrior trait and has Venom Blast special, deal 2 damage to an enemy, stun that enemy. So that gets triggered by some of his cards. And then the other thing that can be triggered is his Spider Camouflage ability, a special, give Spider-Man a tough status card and then confuse an enemy. All right, let's get back over to our alter ego side and let's draw our hand size. Okay, let's see if that will do for a start. Okay, this is a solid start. It doesn't give me any setup at all, but I still really like this start to begin with. So let's get going with it. Let's flip over to our hero side. And we will go ahead and first play Swing In. So we'll use, I did think of a way I might want to change this that could give me some setup in the next turn. Okay. All right. So we're going to start with Swing In, and I'm going to use Jefferson Davis as well as For Justice. What do I need? A mental card? Oh, hold on. No, we need a mental card. If I'm going to get a mental card, I have to use Web Shot. Didn't really want to do that. Okay, no, this could work okay. Still goes with my new plan here. Yeah, that'll work. So let's use Web Shot and For Justice to play Swing In. Just making sure Aim Scientist can't prevent that. All right, hero action, remove 4 threat from a scheme. 1, 2, 3, 4. So really nice to have that cleared right away. Because like I said, Black Widow can be pretty dangerous with regard to the main scheme. All right, and if you paid for this card using a mental resource, which I made sure to do, resolve Spider-Man's Spider Camouflage ability. So the Spider Camouflage ability gives Spider-Man a tough status card and then confuses an enemy. We will confuse Black Widow. All right, and some of you might be thinking, I could have used that on the Aim Scientist, so I just want to be able to get a confuse on Black Widow right away. That's why I'm doing that instead. All right, then we're going to get Power Within into the game. So I'm going to hold on to Helicarrier, and I'm hoping that pays off for us. So we'll use that in just a sec. Let's go ahead and attack the Spider-Man for 2, defeating Aim Scientist. And then that triggers this hero response. After a hero uses a basic power, discard Power Within, resolve Spider-Man's Venom Blast ability. So let's discard that. His Venom Blast ability would do 2 damage to Black Widow. So that's 2 damage. Notice it does not trigger her Forced Interrupt for 2 reasons, by the way. First of all, it's not an attack, right? The Venom Blast ability is not an attack. And secondly, all the threat is off of the main scheme. So both of those reasons. But also for part of Venom Blast, let's go ahead and stun her. So now she's stunned and confused. So that's a really nice start. And let's ready up and draw our hand. And it looks like we may or may not be able to get Helicarrier in. We'll see. All right, on our next turn. Let's let Black Widow go. So again, let me put 2 markers. So this is how I can keep myself remembering to add 2 threats to the main scheme while she's in stage 2, and then I'll try to remember to add a 3rd one when she's in stage 3. All right, so we'll add 2 threats to the main scheme, and then she will go try to attack. She's stunned, and then get her encounter card, and she gets Aim Abductor. All right. When revealed, tuck the ally you control with the most remaining hit points under Abduct Superhumans. Otherwise, place 2 threat on Abduct Superhumans, and neither of those apply. So if Abduct Superhumans is not in play, find it and put it into play. So let's find it. We'll check here first. Obviously not there. And then so Abduct Superhumans. So that's one of the side schemes. So if you click on side scheme, you'll see just the side schemes. So we can see Abduct Superhumans. Plus, we do have one way or another. So this gets us a chance to scout out that there are 4 of them and only going to be 3 of them after this. So we know we'll be able to use one way or another. All right, abduct superhumans. Okay, let's put that into play. I'm not sure if we're revealing or putting into play. We'll see in just a sec. Shuffle the deck. It said put it into play. Okay, so that means the surge will not happen, and it has a forced interrupt. When an ally leaves play, tuck it under here and place threat here equal to its cost, then place 1 acceleration token here. When defeated, put each ally tucked here into play under its owner's control. All right, so we'd like to get rid of that relatively quickly. And what we're going to start off with is, which one do I care about getting rid of first? I'd like to get rid of the aim abductor first. Let's see, we have Arachnobatics can deal 2 damage. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and attack with Spider-Man, dealing 2 damage to aim abductor. And then we're going to play one way or another. Oh, I forgot. This doesn't ready us. I was thinking of another card. Let me undo that. I want to have all my options available. All right, so let's play one way or another. We can play a maximum of 1 of these per round. Hero action, search the encounter deck for a side scheme, reveal that side scheme, and draw 3. And then we'll be able to draw 3 cards as long as we can reveal a side scheme. All right, so let's go ahead and find a side scheme. And which one do we want to start with? All right, I'm going to go with Mad Science here. Shuffle the deck. All right, so now we can draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. And discard that card. So Mad Science, you can see it has hindered 2, so it came in with 4 threat on it, and each aim minion gains an acceleration icon. So this aim minion currently has an acceleration icon, and in addition to this one also having one. So we want to be able to remove all 4 of that threat as soon as we can. Okay, let's see what we got here. All right. All right, let's plan this out a bit. So I could use Helicarrier to get this into play. So I'm going to flip things over as my resources. And then this would be in play. And then we could get Dazzler here into play with these 2 cards. And then we'd be able to use Web Shooter after that to play Arachnobatics. And then we'd still be able to hold on to Spider-Man here. All right, so I like that. Let's flip those back over. Okay, so here we go. We're going to use Helicarrier to play Web Shooter, put 3 counters on it. Okay. And then Hero Resource, exhaust Web Shooter, remove 1 web counter from it to generate a wild resource. So now we're going to get 2 of Power of Justice here to play Dazzler. Okay. And then after Dazzler enters play, confuse an enemy, we're going to confuse Aim Abductor. All right, and then we will use the Web Shooter, a wild resource, to play Arachnobatics. Okay, so Arachnobatics deal 2 damage to an enemy. We're going to do that to the Aim Abductor. And then if that enemy has a stun status card, deal 3 additional damage. If that enemy has a confused status, which it does, deal 3 additional damage. So that's 5 altogether, defeating the Aim Abductor. All right, and then we will go ahead. They both have 2 thwart. We're going to use both of those and get rid of the Mad Science side scheme. Okay, and then do we flip over? Let's see, we would add 2 here, makes it 4. Could get as many as 5 if she does do an extra one. Yeah, I'd like to get the bigger hand size here. So let's flip over and ready up. Although we are in pretty good shape just staying here. Yeah. Let's flip over. Ready up. Draw our hand size. Okay, that looks promising. Okay, let's add 2 threat to the main scheme. Black Widow is confused. And get an encounter card. The villain schemes. So she's going to scheme for 2 plus 1 is 3. So 1, 2, 3. All right. Okay, back to our turn. Let's see what we can do here. We haven't taken any damage, so we don't need to worry about that. Oh, I did forget. After you change to this form, shuffle 1 Spider-Man card from your discard pile into your deck. Now, the problem is, like, I kind of can't do that now because I already have my hand, and the card that I shuffle back in might have been, one of the cards drawn. Okay, all right. I got to be better about remembering that. Okay, let's see. Let's head over to our hero side. And let's see what we want to put into play. Certainly Spider-Man would be great, Spider-Man Peter Parker. But we also need to remove some serious threat, although he could help with that too. So let's see. All right, here's what we're going to do. I want to get Ghost Spider out, so I'm going to use Genius, and let's hold on to that for a sec. Let's use Genius and Ghost Spider to play Spider-Man Hobie Brown. And then let's use the Web Shooter and Web Shot. Which is a mental, and this was a wild. And then we will use this Spider-Man here as well. So 3 different resources to play Spider-Man. Note that he does require 3 different resources to play him from your hand. Response after Spider-Man attacks or thwarts, choose another Web Warrior character, ready that character. So we're definitely going to be doing that. So first I am going to go ahead and take care of Abduct Superhumans. So we'll do that with Spider-Man Hobie Brown. He takes 2 consequential, so that gets rid of that. And then we will thwart for 2 here on the main scheme. Then we'll thwart for 2 on the main scheme some more. Then we're going to thwart for 2 more with Spider-Man, which is going to ready our hero Miles Morales. And then if I did attack, like, we could do some damage, but we have the possibility of getting this preparation. So I'm just going to remove that last threat right now. And then we have less threat to deal with, right? Because she's still adding 2 each time. Okay, but that's not too bad. Let's ready up and then draw our hand size. And hopefully sometime here soon. So we have, what, 17 cards left? Yeah, so hopefully we'll get the Web of Life and Destiny in. That is, by the way, why this card is built to have a decent amount of card draw to begin with, is because I don't want to wait forever to get Web of Life and Destiny in play. So hopefully we can get that out pretty soon. All right, Black Widow's turn. Add 2 threat to the main scheme. She's going to attack. We will defend with Dazzler. So that's an attack of 2, 3. Dazzler goes down. Oh, I didn't need to do that. I could have, yeah, because Spider-Man can take the tough status. Okay, I got to remember that, because I would have rather taken that with the tough, actually, because Black Widow has basically an attack card, and that it doesn't do a whole lot of damage, and so the tough status isn't the best way to take that damage. All right, and then next, she gets her encounter card and the villain schemes. All right, so this is the second advance, so that's going to be 2 and just 2. That's pretty lucky. Okay, and we get rid of an assault at the same time. I'm going to check the discard pile here, check the treacheries. Okay, so we've got 2 advances. She has 2 of her own cards. I can't remember what they're called right now, but they also allow her to scheme, and not just when she's on alter ego side like a lot of other villains. So we have to continue to be careful about that. So 2 more cards that, when that shows up, then I'll try to remember to point it out. Okay, back to our turn. Let's see what we have here. Oh, 4 Justice can take care of that in 1 shot, but I really want to get Genki Lee out. Okay, so you require a mental resource. Okay, all right. So let's start by playing, if we play Quick Quip, yeah, it's kind of a tough time to play this. Oh, okay, all right. So let's get Genki Lee out with this energy. Okay. And then do I want to use this now? If I do, it's not really safe to go down to alter ego right now. So I don't really want to do that, but I could safely do so. Let's see, she can do as much as 2 + 3 and 2 +... No, she really could win in one hand with a super unlucky draw. So either I use Quick Quip and get rid of my tough status, and to go down to alter, if I want to go down to alter ego. I might want to do that. Let's do ahead and do that. All right, so, but I would like to use 4 Justice as well. Yeah, let's get some attack in. All right, so we're going to use this Web Shooter, the last one, as a wild resource, along with double life, and we're going to play for Justice, and that's going to deal remove 4 threat because we used a wild, so that's which is as a mental resource. So that removes all the threat, and now that allows us to attack. So we're going to do that. Oh, we had to take damage. So I said remove the tough status, I think, but it didn't remove. You have to be careful about the way where you click. You have to be on the lower half of the hero card and press the number 7 at the same time. And sometimes I don't do that entirely well. All right, so let's attack with Spider-Man for 2 damage, bringing Black Widow from 14 down to 12. Let's attack with this Spider-Man. So we could do quite a bit of damage here. We have 17 cards left. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. So doing 2 more damage for 10. That'll ready up Spider-Man, and he's going to attack again and bring her down to 8. All right, making some nice progress. Let's ready up and draw our hand size, and still no Web of Life and Destiny. We have another One Way or Another. Let's see, how many side schemes are down here? Just 2. Okay, so we still have 2 more side schemes left in the deck that we could use One Way or Another for. So that can help accelerate things and maybe finally get that into play. We've still got Nick Fury to help with that too. All right, so let's see. Black Widow's turn. Add 2 threat to the main scheme, and she's going to attack. We will defend with Spider-Man Hobie Brown. Let's see. We do have. We could just take the damage too. So I'd love to be able to get one more chance to get that out there. Let's give it a chance. So she's going to attack for 2. We're just going to take it in the face. 3 damage. So we go down from 9 to 6. And then let's get her encounter card. When revealed, you are confused Black Widow schemes. There it is. Covert Ops is what it's called, and she has 1 more of these as well. So we are confused, right? So it's worse than Advance because we also get confused. And then she's going to scheme. Here's her boost card. So she schemes for 2 plus 1 is 3. So 1, 2, 3. All right. Okay, so back to our turn. I am going to go with One Way or Another right off the bat. Let's see what we get. Okay, so again, search the encounter deck for a side scheme. Let's get that. And we're going to not put it into play. We do actually reveal the side scheme. So that's an important difference. Okay, automated defenses. So that'll give this a 4. Give her extra preparation abilities on her preparation cards. And then this one here, each encounter card gains insight 1. And this will come in. It has 2 hinder. Oh, we get to avoid the 2 hinder because that's a when revealed ability. And this one we avoid the 1 hinder. Let's see. Yeah, let's go ahead and go like this and remove 2 threat because we avoid that 2 hinder. Okay? Because, oh, no, we don't. No, we don't avoid it. Okay, so yeah, all 4 comes in no matter what. All right. Okay, all right, we did that. Shuffle up. Now, draw 3 cards. Okay, still didn't get it. All right, but it's due soon. We're down to 10 cards. Okay, let's get rid of this right off the bat. So 4 Justice with a mental. What do we have for mental available? Let's see. Oh, we'd have it easily with the web shooter, so might as well get the web shooter out. I think I'm going to use MaNemJeff to get the web shooter out, and then that'll put 3 counters on here. And then we have multiple ways of getting that, actually. So let's use one of those. And actually, let's get Spider-Man Otto Octavius in. I'm going to use this card here to help with that. Okay, Otto Octavius, a response after you play Spider-Man from your hand, ready an upgrade you control. That's our web shooter. If that upgrade has the tech trait, it does, draw 1 card. Okay, swing in. Oh, that's a nice card. We're going to use that one instead of for Justice then, although we may end up using both. So let's use this double to play swing in. And we'll remove 4 threat from a scheme, so that'll remove all of this threat. If you paid for this card using a mental resource, oops, my bad. We don't want to pay for it that way. We want to use the web shooter plus I'm going to use actually Quick Quip. There we go. And then play Swing In. There we go. So now we remove all 4 of that threat. And then if you pay for this card using a mental resource, we used a wild, so we got that covered. Resolve Spider-Man's Spider Camouflage ability. All right, so his Spider Camouflage, give him a tough status. And now we can confuse the villain. All right, nice. Okay, excellent. And then now we can use for Justice. We won't be able to max it out, but we can still play it and remove 3 threat. And so I definitely think that's worth it. 1, 2, 3, down to 2. And that works out pretty nicely anyway, because we can remove 2 threat with Spider-Man here, 1, 2. And then we were going to, do we leave all that? Let's see, 8 left. Man, there's so much, like, we're so ready right now to be able to just get some massive card draw, and I really want to take advantage of that. So I'm going to leave everybody as is. Let's ready up. I'm hoping to get some real big bursts of card draw and damage here, because when we get to her 3rd phase, I am hoping to right away remove some threat when she flips over, because she'll put some threat on immediately, which can be dangerous even if she has a confuse, and then really want to go at her. So not too worried about it after that first phase, actually. Let's see, still don't have it. Darn. Okay, all right. What do we have? 4 cards left? Okay, it's coming soon. We never had to discard cards, right? I want to make sure it's not sitting over here because we had to discard cards. Okay, because she does make you discard cards, I think, at some point. Or it's the possible to. All right, add 2 more threat to the main scheme. She's going to attack. We have a tough status, so let's take it to the face. So she's dealing 2 damage, 3 damage. So that gets rid of our tough status. Okay, get out an encounter card. And the villain attacks you. Okay, we're down to 6 hit points, so actually I'm not going to take that one. I'm going to use Hobie Brown to defend. So she's going to attack. Get her boost card, attacking for 2, 3, 4, 5, so 5 damage, defeating Spider-Man Hobie Brown, who has an interrupt. When Spider-Man leaves play, discard the top 3 cards of the encounter deck. Deal damage to the villain equal to the number of boost icons discarded this way. So, top 3 cards. Let's see how many boost icons. 1 boost icon here. 2 more, that's 3 now. And 3 more is 6. She took 6 damage. 1, so 8 down to 2. So that was a nice chunk of damage there. Okay. All right. And, let's see what was discarded. I didn't pay attention. We've got Aim Commando, Shadow of the Past, not bad, and Attack-Robatics. Yes, okay. All right. Not bad. Okay, not bad at all. All right, let's see how we want to handle this. We have Across the Spider-Verse, so we could be able to get another ally back in, and might be actually nicer to get Spider-Man back in. Let's see. No, I think this is a good time to get this done, so let's do it. So we're going to remove the 2 threat right here. Okay, with our hero. And then now we're going to attack with Spider-Man. So this Force Interrupt doesn't trigger since we cannot remove 1 threat from the main scheme. Dealing 2 damage there. Spider-Man takes a consequential. Okay. Then we're going to use Across the Spider-Verse. So let's see how we want to play that. All right, let's use our web shooter, the last of that, and Arachnobatics to play Across the Spider-Verse. So we can search the discard pile for Web or Ally, put it into play. So we will get Spider-Man Peter Parker back into play. Okay. Then choose a player. I'll choose me, of course. That player may spend 3 more resources of any type to repeat this ability. So I have some good cards here that I really do want to use because I can stun her. but we're about to run out. So let's take advantage of that. Let's pay 3 resources, 1, 2, 3, and get Hobie Brown, as you saw, was pretty nice. Oh, I forgot to do this. Sorry. Black Widow was defeated. Okay, so now she comes in stage 3, and when revealed, places 3 threat on the main scheme. Okay, so now I'm going to put 3 counters here to try to remember that. So, and then puts 3 threat on the main scheme. Okay, and then the force interrupt is the same as before. Okay, so now the rest of this, let's bring somebody in. So I actually really do like Spider-Man, but there's also Ghost Spider. And she has a really nice one, and we're about to go through the rest of the deck here, so we'll be able to choose what we want. So I think we're going to go that route instead. Where is she again? Ghost Spider. Oh, there's something to be said for MaNemJeff, right? Because looking at some of those cards and be able to get rid of a card and put the rest back in any order. A lot of good choices. I'm going to go with Ghost Spider. All right. Okay, so we maxed that usage out, which I normally don't do. So that's pretty awesome. All right, now we do have threat on the main scheme. So we're going to thwart with Spider-Man Otto Octavius for 1, and then we will thwart with Spider-Man Peter Parker for 2 more, and that readies our hero. We will then attack with our hero for 2 damage, and then we'll attack with Ghost Spider for 2 more damage. And of course, we put consequential damage on them as we went. And then let's see, now we can safely go to the alter ego side. It'll add 3, and then she could at most put 6 more to 9. And then we could maximize, but she's going to get 2 cards, but at most one of those would allow her to do it again. Yeah, okay. Let's go to alter ego side and get that bigger hand size. For sure, we're about to get the Web of Life and Destiny. Yeah, that's right. And we won't lose one of these guys that way. Okay, draw up our hand size. Okay, so we went through our deck, got extra encounter card here. All right, Black Widow, 1, 2, 3. She's confused. No longer. And here's her first encounter card. Get the second one and reveal this. Okay, Aim Grunt, that has guard and 5 hit points. And then Exhaustion, Surge, exhaust your identity. Okay, I was hoping to heal, but okay. It is what it is. And we still have a Confuse. Ooh, we have a Confuse. Oh, I hope I didn't play. Oh my gosh, I might have played. Okay, hold on. I had attacked earlier, so what I'm going to do is say that a long time ago, I got rid of that Confuse so that I could play a Confuse card, because I'm afraid that I played with a Confuse on me. Okay, and then, but what I did was I did 2 damage, and I'm going to say that I couldn't have done that 2 damage, so I'm going to put 2 damage back. That might not be the best recovery, but it's the best I can think of right now to make up for what I think I played. I think I played a thwart card when I had that Confuse on me. So that's the best I can think of, is I would have tried to Confuse, gotten rid of that, and then I wouldn't have been able to do like an attack or thwart at some point. So yeah, I can't make up for it completely, I think, but that's about the best I can think of to make up for it. Okay. All right, so exhaust your identity, and then this surges to Dance of Death. When revealed, deal 1 damage to a character you control. Let's see. We can afford to do 1 damage to Ghost Spider, and then deal 2 damage to a second character you control. We'll do that to Miles Morales, and then 3 damage to a third. We'll do that on Spider-Man Otto Octavius. All right. Okay, so let's see what we have here now. Web of Life and Destiny is ready to be put into play. We're going to do that right away. And so Web of Life and Destiny. Oh, we can ignore the cost if we have Web Warrior. We got to wait till we get to the other side before we do that. So let's put that back in our hand. Okay. All right. So now let's flip and put that into play. There we go. So response: after a Web Warrior ally leaves play, choose a player. That player draws 1 card. All right. So Yeah, I want to actually trigger that right away. I'm going to deal 2 damage to this aim grunt. 1, 2. Okay. And then she has this interrupt. When Ghost Spider leaves play, search your deck for an identity-specific event and add that to your hand. So we're going to do that before we can do this response, because the interrupt comes first. But let's check it out. Which one are we going to go with? The threat removal to keep us safe from confusion, or are we going to want to deal damage? Yes, okay, we're going to want to deal damage. Okay, so let's look through our events, and it has to be one of her events, and we're going to get a web shot. All right, shuffle up the deck. Okay, time to play Nick Fury now. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe we hold on to Nick Fury and wait till next round. Oh, I flipped over without drawing a card. So Genki Lee, that's what I get for not putting my usual marker on him. So when I was on Alter Ego side, I wanted to draw a card. So I guess I would have drawn something. I don't know. We've already shuffled. It's going to be quick quip. Okay. So, all right. So it still stayed randomized. So I'm going to accept that. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's see. What do we have here? So actually that might allow me to still play Nick Fury. All right. Now that I'm using the resources that are available to me. Okay. Boy, I should have done that last time too. All right, so we can do, I want Web Shot to stay out, so let's use 4 other cards. So we can use Quick Quip. So I'm going to flip them over. Use that one. 1, 2, 3. So one more. Do we want to go with Professor X? Because Professor X could confuse. Now let's use Professor X too. So there's 4 cards. We're going to use those to play Nick Fury. So 1, 2, 3, 4. In comes Nick Fury, and we're going to draw 3 cards. Okay, that's not bad. Let's see, we have currently 2 allies in play. Okay, so we can get you out. Let's see, for this card, well, I could just use both of those to play him, but then I won't be able to play Web Shot. But we can defend with Nick Fury for now, so that's okay. So yeah, let's get Spider-Man. We'll get Paviter out into play. Okay. All right, so after Spider-Man enters play, remove 1 threat from a scheme for each Web Warrior card you control. So there's himself. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that removes all the threat from here. Okay. Okay, let's defeat the aim grunt. So we'll use Nick Fury for 2 damage. And we'll use Spider-Man Paviter for the 3rd. So that's 5 altogether, defeating him. Doesn't have a win defeated. We will attack with Spider-Man, dealing 2 damage, 18 down to 16. That'll ready up our hero. Then we'll attack with our hero for 2 more damage, bring him down to 14. Let's ready up, draw our hand size, and it's Black Widow's turn. Okay, Black Widow's turn. Let's add 3 threat to the main scheme. Black Widow is going to attack for 2 plus the boost card. We'll defend with Nick Fury. And that's going to attack a 4, defeating Nick Fury. Get an encounter card. And we have Aim Abductor again. Ooh, okay. Tuck the ally you control with the most remaining hit points under Abduct Superhumans, etc. If Abduct Superhumans is not in play, find it and put it into play. All right. So let's find it. It should be over here. There it is. Okay, and notice all 4 of the side schemes are over here. So we know that it's put it into play, right? Yes, put it into play. So the surge doesn't occur. Force interrupt when an ally leaves play. Tuck it under here and place threat here equal to its cost. Then place 1 acceleration icon. And when defeated, put each ally tucked here into play under its owner's control. Okay, so that's an interesting... what do we have available to us? One way or another is not going to do any good. Power Within. We can, okay, we got a web shooter. We've got Spider as well. Okay, all right. Let's see how we want to handle this. Okay, let's start by getting the web shooter in play. Oh, by the way, if any of you are thinking, oh, maybe I have enough to defeat the villain right now, and it's possible I do. I haven't checked. It must be pretty close. But the reason I don't want to do that is because in this tournament we get penalized, or I should say, we have the potential for 10 points for victory, but we take away points for any threat on the main scheme, any side schemes in play, and any minions in play. So I want to do my best to clear everything out. So I'm not necessarily going to go for a victory here. In fact, I won't, because I want to clear everything out first. All right, so I'm going to use Spider-Man to go ahead and remove that threat and get rid of Abduct Superhumans. And then I'm going to attack with Spider-Man Peter Parker, dealing 2 damage to AIM Abductor, and he is defeated by consequential damage, and left play, so we draw a card. All right, and then I'm going to use one way or another to play Web Shooter, put 3 counters on it, and let's see what's next. Oh, I forgot to use Peter Parker's response to ready our hero. There we go. All right, let's use the Web Shooter. Yes, let's use the Web Shooter plus Jefferson Davis to play Web Shot. We used a wild, so for sure we have an energy resource. We're going to deal 4 damage to an enemy, so that's going to be to Black Widow. Bring it down from 14 to 10. There's no guard, right? Okay, yeah, 14 down to 10. Okay. And then we paid to use an energy resource, so we resolve the Venom Blast ability, so we're going to deal 2 damage to Black Widow and stun her. So 2 more down to 8 and stun her. All right, and then we will use Spider-Man to attack the AIM Abductor. And then, let's see. Yeah, it'd be nice to save her for next time, but yeah, but we're not going to do that. So we're going to, we could, let's see, she's only stunned. Let's see, no matter what, let's take care of this while I'm thinking of it. Let's remove a threat. Get that a little bit better. Oh man, we're actually still in danger. Maybe I shouldn't have gotten rid of that AIM Abductor yet. We only have 4 hit points though. Okay, let's see. Yeah, because she's going to add 3 threat here, and if she schemes, she has 1 more of those cards that can let her scheme. Oh. Okay, well, we've just got to risk that, I think, and I'm going to go ahead and get Power Within in play, so we'll play that. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and ready up and draw our hand size. Okay, all right, we do have the ability to confuse here. So yeah, so we just need to survive this 1 round. So 1, 2, 3, so it's up to 5. She has a stun, let's get rid of that stun. Get an encounter card. Okay, all right, has patrol, so we can't remove that threat unless we get rid of the AIM Soldier. When revealed, find the AIM Scientist, put it in play, engage with you. So let's go find the AIM Scientist. Minions should be right there, okay. All right, so there's the AIM Scientist. Note again has Surge and Vulnerable, but we cannot attack it while there's another minion in play. All right. We have to get rid of this one first. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. We're so close to winning, but we've got a lot to get rid of. So let's see how much of that we can do. Oh, we've got swing ins and web shots. So we don't necessarily need Dazzler. So that might be, yeah, Dazzler was not terribly efficient to play here. So yeah, so let's start by, this has patrol. So we've got to get rid of that one first. So we can do that here. We can attack with Spider-Man, deal 2 damage. And then we can attack with, all right, we're going to attack with Spider-Man Paviter and deal 1 more damage. And he's defeated, and Web of Life and Destiny draws us a card. All right, so what's next? All right, let's start by using our Web Shooter plus 1 of the swing ins. No, let's use helicarrier, excuse me, to play a swing in. We used a wild, so we're good on our mental resource. Remove 4 threat from the scheme. So 5 down to 1. And then we get our spider camouflage ability, so we get our tough status. And we can confuse an enemy. And I am actually going to confuse Black Widow. Okay. Maybe not. If I confuse this aim scientist, it goes away. And then, yeah. Let's confuse the aim scientist instead to make it go away. All right, so get rid of this confuse and get this confused. And it has vulnerable, so we can discard this card. Okay. Yeah, we're going to do that instead. Okay, and then let's get a web shot out. So let's use... Yeah, we need an energy. Yes, so let's use Dazzler and Arachnobatics to play this web shot, deal 4 damage to an enemy, so 8 down to 4. And then if you paid for this card using an energy resource, and we made sure to do that, then we use the Venom Blast ability, so we're going to deal 2 damage to the enemy and stun them. Okay, so she'll be able to add 3 threat here. Okay, hopefully she doesn't then, scheme, right? Like I said, she has 1 more card too. There's 15 cards. Pretty odds are in our favor that won't happen. And then we'd be set up pretty nicely. But even with that, swing in can help us to get rid of, what the threat that goes on there. So I think we're still in pretty good shape. We got our tough status. Yep, let's go for it. All right. So hopefully victory is at hand here. Let's add 3 threat to the main scheme, so it's 1 up to 4. She is stunned, so she doesn't attack, and she only gets 1 encounter card, hopefully. Place 4 threat on each side scheme. If there are no side schemes in play, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a side scheme is discarded. Reveal that side scheme. There aren't any side schemes left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... Okay, and let me go back 1. Okay, I do need to, show this card that is not a side scheme. So discard that. There we go. So now there's an acceleration token here, but if we can just take care of business, it's obvious game is over right here. Okay, so let's defeat him. Let's get swing in. All right, I don't have to use a mental resource, but I'd like to. So let's just use our web shooter. And Madam Web to play swing in. And that's going to remove 4 threat from the scheme. 1, 2, 3, 4. Clears it out. And we use a mental resource because we used our wild resource. So we use get the camouflage. We still have a tough status, so that stays there. And then she is confused. Okay. Right? Not that matters. And then now we can attack and just win the game. And so that does deal 2 damage, and there's no threat left on the main scheme, no minions in play, no side schemes in play, so that's a perfect victory. We get 10 points. Okay, and as you can see, we could have used these 3 to play Spider-Man Hobie Brown, which also would have put us in great shape to deal more damage when we get attacked. We could have done more damage with his responsibility to finish her off, even if that didn't do the trick. So just in case I messed up somewhere on points, we certainly would have gotten more points that way afterwards. Okay, and that's it. Let's go ahead and stop there. Hope you enjoyed the gameplay. And I'll have a deck discussion coming out to show exactly which cards I picked and why to add to the deck in order to go up specifically against Black Widow. All right, have a great one, everybody. Catch you next time. Oh, be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and go ahead and make comments if you wish to, and we'll have some conversations there. Have a great one.